In the year 2063, humanity's greed has devastated the Earth. Global sea levels have risen drastically, drowning almost the entire planet. Only two massive landmasses remain, and they're locked in a brutal war, battling over limited space and dwindling resources. Between these two lands, in the endless ocean, stands a lone military outpost known as the Sentinel. Manned by just 4 soldiers from one of the warring factions, the outpost serves a critical mission: to guard a powerful nuclear bomb. This weapon is their only strategic advantage in the war. Leading the team is Sergeant Hryx, a stern and commanding figure, joined by Corporal Cassidy, Private Baines, and Private Sullivan. Their tour of duty was supposed to last 2 years, but it's already been 2 years and 3 months, and still, no one has come to relieve them. Food is running low. Tensions are high. On one stormy night, Cassidy and Sullivan attempt to catch fish for the group. They're lucky and manage to fill a net, but the weather quickly turns violent. Waves crash against the structure, and Hryx orders Baines, the tech specialist, to secure the bomb. While trying to protect the fragile system, Baines gets his hand caught in a set of pipes. He nearly drowns but manages to free himself at the last moment. Tragically, their hard-earned fish is lost to the raging sea as a massive wave smashes against the platform. Despite the chaos, the Sentinel miraculously survives the storm. The next morning, during a tense breakfast, the crew discusses how to ration what little food remains. Baines suggests contacting command to request a replacement team, but Hryx immediately shuts him down. The only way to communicate is via an old telegraph that transmits Morse code, and according to Hryx, it's strictly for daily status updates, no exceptions. Later, Sullivan sends in the standard no incidents report. A reply comes through: nothing to report at base. This same message has repeated for months, as noted in Sullivan's journal. But as he keeps watch with Hryx on the deck, something finally breaks the monotony. A ship is approaching. Cassidy confirms the ship on radar. Hryx fears it could be an enemy vessel. They try contacting it, no response. Sullivan is ordered to investigate. Armed and cautious, he rows over in a small boat. As he boards the seemingly abandoned ship, the radio fills with static, so he shuts it off to avoid drawing attention. Inside, the ship is in disarray, untouched food, no signs of life. Then he finds them, for life jackets meant for their replacements. The chilling truth sinks in. This ship was supposed to bring their relief team, but something went terribly wrong. Back on the Sentinel, Hryx begins to panic. Fearing an imminent attack, he demands Cassidy hand over her activation key for the nuclear bomb. She hesitates, but under pressure, she complies. With both keys, Hryx starts the detonation sequence, but pauses just long enough to try Sullivan one more time. Thankfully, Sullivan has turned his radio back on and responds just in time. The crisis is avoided, but Hryx refuses to return the keys. As punishment for Cassidy's hesitation, he keeps both, tightening his grip on the outpost. Later, Sullivan pulls the mysterious ship to the Sentinel. He wants to alert command, but Hryx refuses. The situation is tense. Everyone is growing tired of the sergeant's authoritarian rule, especially now that he controls the nuclear codes. After checking the ship's navigation log, Hryx traces its path on a map, trying to figure out where it came from. Meanwhile, Sullivan confides in Cassidy and Baines. Secretly, he's already sent a hidden message to base, hoping for a response during the next scheduled transmission window. The next morning, all 3 gather around the telegraph. Hryx notices their behavior and grows suspicious. Baines finally admits the truth. Hryx explodes in anger. But then the telegraph pings. The message that comes through is horrifying. It's the exact same message Sullivan sent the night before. No one received it. They realize they've been cut off for who knows how long. Every response they've been getting was just an echo, a ghost signal repeating endlessly. Despite this disturbing discovery, Hryx orders everyone back to their stations, pretending nothing is wrong. That night, Sullivan finds Baines returning from the mysterious ship. They sit down and talk. Baines confesses he's been sneaking over there, trying to fix it. He thinks he can get it working. Overwhelmed by hope, Sullivan rushes to tell Cassidy. But she refuses to get involved, especially behind Hryx's back. The next day, Sullivan joins Baines to help repair the engine. After long hours, they get it running. Excited, they return, only to find Hryx waiting. The sergeant scolds them, furious that they disobeyed orders. But then he takes it a step further. He commands them to dismantle the ship and use its parts to repair the Sentinel. He makes it clear no one is leaving. Their duty is to stay, no matter how long it takes. And if they try to leave again, he'll shoot. Concerned that Hryx is losing his mind, Cassidy decides to speak with him alone. Later that day, Cassidy approaches Sergeant Hryx privately. She tells him she understands the pressure he's under. Through their conversation, we learn that Hryx once lost his previous squad during a mutiny, something that still haunts him. Cassidy gently convinces him to allow Sullivan and Baines to return to base and send help back to the Sentinel. Soon after, Crix calls an emergency meeting. He announces a new plan inspired by Cassidy's suggestion. Since communication with command has failed, someone must travel to base in person. 2 will stay, and 2 will leave. Crix volunteers to stay, of course. Cassidy quickly says she'll stay too. Baines is thrilled at the chance to go home, but Sullivan is heartbroken. He had fallen in love with Cassidy and hoped they'd leave together. That night, while reviewing the ship's logbook and maps, Crix makes a chilling discovery. The supply ship with the new team had been on the correct course, but suddenly veered off just before reaching the Sentinel. It came to a complete stop far from the outpost, and then it vanished. Crix grows suspicious. Cassidy was the one who was supposed to guide that ship to the Sentinel. Did she mislead it on purpose? The next morning, a loud alarm shakes the outpost. Another ship has appeared on radar. Crix, paranoid and tense, refuses to send anyone this time. He assumes it's a threat and immediately orders the crew to take battle positions. While Baines and Sullivan prepare the cannon, Cassidy tries to contact the ship, but there's no response. As fog thickens around them, visibility drops. The men hesitate. The vessel looks oddly familiar, and it seems to be moving away. Cassidy suddenly realizes the truth. It's the same ship they found earlier. She rushes to stop them, but it's too late. Crix has taken control and is about to order the strike. Then the truth surfaces. Crix had secretly let the ship drift away the night before, unwilling to let anyone escape. Baines refuses to destroy the vessel, but Crix shoots him in the ear, injuring him. Enraged, Sullivan takes the cannon and fires, destroying the ship. Seeing their only escape shattered, Baines loses control and lunges at Crix, but Cassidy intervenes, knocking the sergeant unconscious with a fire extinguisher. Together, they lock Crix in the pantry, and Cassidy retrieves both nuclear keys. Baines sinks into despair, knowing his one chance to go home is gone. He stops helping around the base and begins drinking heavily. Sullivan tells Cassidy their only option now is to try every possible Morse code frequency until they find one that works. Cassidy grimly replies, it could take 3 years. Later, Sullivan brings food to Crix in the pantry and asks him why he changed his mind about letting anyone leave. Crix explains that the new team did arrive 3 months ago, just as scheduled. But something lured them off course, something deliberate. Which means someone among them must be a traitor, someone who wants the nuclear bomb. Shocked, Sullivan doesn't want to believe it, but the seeds of doubt are planted. He leaves, locking the pantry as Crix pleads to be released. That night, Cassidy opens up to Sullivan. She shows him an old childhood photo of her family on a rainy day. She's holding the biggest umbrella despite being the smallest. Tearfully, she reveals her family was killed by enemy soldiers while she was away at school. The next morning, Baines, drunk and unstable, finds Cassidy asleep in the communications room. He lunges at her, seemingly to hurt her, but instead snatches the nuclear keys and runs. Over the loudspeaker, he announces he's going to activate the bomb. Cassidy and Sullivan rush to stop him. They try to reason with him, reminding him of his family, of the hope that they're still waiting for him. They promise no one else will die. Baines breaks down crying and finally steps away from the controls, allowing Cassidy to recover the keys. After things calm down, Sullivan says it might be time to release Crix. But Baines reveals something chilling. He had gone to the pantry to kill the sergeant, but found it empty. A window was left wide open. Crix had taken his own life. Cassidy and Sullivan check for themselves. The sergeant is truly gone. His absence weighs heavily on them. Days pass. Life begins to resume. Baines slowly recovers, spending his time fixing the outpost systems. One afternoon, he and Cassidy set off to salvage supplies from the shipwreck. Sullivan hands Cassidy a gun, just in case, and she thanks him with a kiss. While they're away, Sullivan tries fishing again near the lower deck. As he pulls up the net, he makes a horrifying discovery. Crix's body. A gunshot to the head confirms it wasn't suicide, he was murdered, which means the traitor is still among them. Racing back to the control room, Sullivan checks the crew files for clues. Then it hits him, Cassidy's umbrella photo. She had said it rained that day, but Sullivan's homeland was a dry region. There's only one explanation. Cassidy is from the enemy side. Out at sea, Cassidy and Baines sit together on the boat. A strange tension hangs in the air. As a storm approaches, Sullivan examines the lighthouse and realizes something. It's portable. Flashbacks reveal the truth. Cassidy had stolen the lighthouse earlier, mounted it on a small boat, and used it to mislead the incoming relief ship. Once the ship followed her far from the Sentinel, she killed the entire team and left the vessel adrift. Back in the present, only Cassidy returns from the salvage mission. She claims Baines died in an accident while retrieving plastic. But Sullivan knows she's lying. Still, he says nothing. She's armed, and he's scared. That night, The two share a quiet, bitter moment together in bed. The next morning, Cassidy wakes up alone. Suddenly, Sullivan's voice crackles through the radio. He tells her he knows everything, that she was the traitor all along. He accuses her of murdering Baines and manipulating them from the start. And now, he says, she'll never get the bomb. Frantically, Cassidy runs to the communications room, only to find Sullivan holding both nuclear keys, ready to detonate the bomb. She pleads with him, saying her people are starving and desperate. She never wanted to fall for him. She hated lying, but Sullivan refuses to believe her. He activates the sequence. The screen flashes, not an explosion, but a message. It's a quirky phrase Baines used to say, something only he would write. They realize Baines had reprogrammed the bomb before he died, disabling it permanently. No one can ever use it now. In the final scene, Cassidy and Sullivan sit in silence. Despite everything, lies, betrayal, loss, they choose not to kill each other. The war outside rages on. But here on the Sentinel, they agree to watch over the outpost together and keep the world from destroying itself. And that's how the story ends. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.